Okay, I wanted to do a little bit about Qigong and humility, but every time I've tried to do this as one of my little video shorts, um, it just takes too long. It's too complicated. And I think one of the reasons it's complicated is that the concept of humility within Chinese culture is somehow very different to the concept of humility that we have in the West. Um, Humble in the Western culture is almost slightly negative. It's a really strange thing. We have a humble house or a humble home, which means we have a small home. you know, there's kinds of there's an underlying negativity to it. And I don't think we necessarily understand what the humility that is referred to within the eight phrases is, what the humility that is referred to within Qigong is, because we have a different take on humility. So, what is it that they mean? Okay, so in the eight phrases which I've just mentioned, and actually there's other videos on this elsewhere, one of the lines is Xing Chong Mao Gong. Xing Chong means the heart or the heart mind has become clear. Mao Gong translates as appearance is humble. I like the idea here that maybe a better translation would be once the once the things that disrupt our heart are able to settle back so that we can be in a far clearer state, a clearer emotional state, in that space, humility can naturally arise. So, what is the humility that arises? I think to me, the thing that's most important is that within humility, there is an idea that you don't have the answers. You don't know. I don't know. I understand my experience. You understand your experience. And so, if I'm able to be humble enough to listen to what your experience is, I will have the ability to learn. If I can get rid of all of my emotional disturbance for a period of time, I will have the ability to hear what you're telling me. I'll have the ability to learn from you. And I think this is a really important piece. I think it's something that all Qigong teachers should embody, the ability to listen to people and not simply be a Qigong foghorn that just blasts information at people. I think that the nature of humility in this space is it sits with awareness, it sits beyond judgment. So to me, when I hear Xingzhong, Mao Gong, what I'm thinking is, have I got that space at the moment, honestly, within my heart, within my mind, that I can really listen to the person or listen to the things or be aware of what's happening around me in a way that is completely open? Can I take that time? Because if I can, then I enrich myself and I can enrich others. Um, Before I finish on this, one of the things that I found really interesting when I was trying to understand the concept of humility happened to me a number of years ago when I was sat down with a very highly respected person within the realms of Western healthcare. And they gave me the time to actually listen to me. Or they gave the time to listen to me and to try to understand where I was coming from. And it completely blew me away. I didn't feel as if I was agreed with, but I felt as if I was heard. And that was a really powerful thing to experience, that actually the perspectives that we all hold have relevance. And just before I sign off for the whole thing, many, many years ago, a manager of mine in a previous life gave me the book, Stephen Covey's Seven Habits of Highly Effective People, which I remember reading through kind of gritted teeth, going, really, you want me to read this stuff? But one of Covey's habits is listen with the intent to understand, not the intent to respond. Is that the nature of humility? Is that a shortcut into that space? So the challenge is, can we actually create the space for real humility to arise? And can we find people to work with who actually hold that space for us? Because if we can find those relationships, they are really enriching and they're very special. So I hope that's proved interesting. As I said, not a short, a slightly long, But yeah, hopefully helpful. Thank you for your time. Thank you.